I have a 3.6 GPA.
I'm a little more motivated probably than most.
I'm enthusiastic, I'm not afraid to say something, raise my hand, voice a concern or a question.
Continuously challenging my professors and people in my class to think outside the box.
I encourage other students to be better students.
I know why I'm here.
My name is Matthew Koenig. I'm a veteran student here at Colorado State University. I'm graduating in May with a bachelor's in civil engineering with a minor in construction management.
My name is Katie. I am a dietetic major, specifically in childhood nutrition.
My name is Elijah Atchley. I'm an electrical engineer major at CSU here. I'm in my forever last year.
My name is Brad Webb. I'm a senior and I'm majoring in sociology and with the focus on criminology.
My name is Orlando Cruz. I am a second-year graduate student in the Student Affairs and Higher Education program.
My name is Laura Arndt, and I am a junior of social work.
My name is Jonathan Philpott. I am studying mechanical engineering.
My name is Philip Chavez. I'm studying human dimensions of natural resources.
My name is Vanessa Recio, and I'm a third-year social work student.
I got into dietetics because my child has been seen by a dietitian for many years and is special needs herself.
I have two kids. Started out, when I first started coming here, it was one kid.
I have a 7-year-old son.
I have one. He's just turned 5 in November.
And my oldest is 10 and my middle's gonna be 6 in March. And then my youngest is due in June.
I started when my baby was 2 years old, and actually, when she was 1.5, and then I became a single parent right around when she turned 2.
I have two kids, they're 14 and 12, girl, boy.
I have one son, and he's 7 years old.
We have a 6-year-old and a 3-year-old.
A lot of us that are parents, we have a different sort of rapport with like the 19, 20-year-olds that are in the class.
If you come into class and your classmate says, "Oh, did you do the reading?" and they say no, then it's kind of the tone of, "Oh, we're not doing our reading." But I always say, "Yeah, I did it. Do you need help?" And so that sets the tone of, "Yeah, do your assignments, do your work. It's cool to do your homework."
I've gotten compliments from other students of, "Hey, we appreciate you in our class because you bring a different perspective of things."
As a parent, as an adult learner, and as a dietitian, I think I will bring my own specific experience around being a mother.
Some of my classes we have talked about parents and families, so I would talk to them like how I did things, how I wish I had done things.
For them, it's just an idea of what family and what the real working world looks like. It's different than the class.
In social work, specifically, I bring self-confidence. I ask all the questions that everyone else is probably too afraid to ask, but later they say to me, "I'm so glad you asked that question. I wanted to ask it too."
I don't mind, making a fool of myself in class, be it a stupid question, because there are stupid questions.
Especially in a program like engineering where things can be hectic and challenging and super stressful. And we can offer a voice of reason, leadership.
I'll be the first one to hand out business cards and, say hi to people that I haven't seen and introduce other people that are new.
Being a combat veteran and seeing that side of the world and that side of my life changed me in a lot of ways of realizing how short life really is. And so not taking things for granted. And I feel like when I bring that to the classroom, it's the context of I'm not afraid to speak up and question.
Living in other countries also, they get to hear how other people might have done things based on cultural differences.
Staying and living on the reservations in different areas where the conflicts of management is, and I lived with it and saw it and worked with people, family members who were part of that.
Because they see me as a mother figure, I am able to definitely get groups together and be that sounding board for them a little bit, and it's kind of fun.
Whenever we're put in groups, we inevitably become the leader of that group, and that group usually sees a high degree of success with a non-traditional student.
They actually reach out to me as not only their fellow student, but as an experienced mom.
A lot of times, we can recognize a student that's in crisis long before a professor does.
I'd say I'm really well-rounded.
I'm very organized. I have to be. I have to spend my time efficiently and effectively.
We have to learn through trial and error and you know, baptism by fire, how to multitask and set goals and you know, all these other things that are essential skills for students. We come pre-prepared with and able to pass it on to other students by you know, being a mentor.
I think I bring just a different type of commitment altogether to what that degree means to me, to my life, to my family, versus when I was 19 or 20 and just trying new things and seeing where it led.
You go to school, you do the classroom stuff, you come home, and then you're a father and cooking and cleaning and dealing with all that, then put all the kids to bed, make sure their homework's done, put them to bed around 9, you know, 8:30, 8 o'clock, 8:30, and then you got to clean up after dinner, so that takes till about 10. And so when I have to put in my work for school, for like homework and my readings and all that, I end up staying up till about 2 o'clock, you know, 1:30, 2 o'clock in the morning, and then getting up at 6 o'clock, 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning to get my kids ready. So it's just a constant living on 4.5 hours of sleep.
I honestly don't remember my last 2 years of undergraduate because I was so busy and I was always on the move. It's just a blur.
I let all my professors know very first day of class usually. It's like, hey, I have kids and I'm not going to be able to be here 100% of the time. I'm telling you right now that there will be days that I miss, so what can we do to mitigate that and not destroy my grade?
My partner, she was not working because she was taking care of our son. So I had to pick up 3 jobs. I had a full class schedule.
Several of them were like, well, you figure it out. You know, this is my grading policy or my attendance policy or whatever, and I don't care about your life.
Last semester, my daughter got the flu, and so she was out of school for about almost a whole week. And I got called on a Monday right before I was supposed to go to one of my labs, and if we miss a lab, we have to make it up or we get a 0.
If he gets sick, if he's getting sent home from school, I may need to go pick him up. Otherwise, my wife has to take him home because she works at the preschool where he attends, and that means she doesn't get paid.
My daughter was diagnosed with a severe infection and had to go into the hospital. And she was sick for a very long time, and I ultimately had to drop the class when I was more than halfway done because I had to be home with her. She wasn't allowed back at school, and she was sick for months.
It's usually just like his illnesses. Occasionally it'd be my own. Very rarely. I think I actually get to take my own. I usually just have to keep going to school even when I'm sick.
The professor was kind of understanding, but not really. Like, just basically told me to drop the class. There wasn't any type of problem solving in it. It was just you either do it or you don't.
You know, my perception is my family comes first no matter what. And so I feel like that's what's been hard with a lot of my classes is, you know, sometimes you have to sacrifice homework, you have to sacrifice all these things.
I might have an absence because I want to be involved with my son's school, such as like a field trip or volunteering for a big event or something, just because my son does ask, like, oh, why can't you come, Mom? Like, why other people's parents are here, but you're not? So I feel bad sometimes, and I'll just take the absence.
Finding childcare on campus or even off campus that is affordable and also like quality.
As soon as I started, I was having to find a daycare for my son because he was only about 5 at the time. And it felt like CSU wasn't even going to be an option. By the time he'd get approved into the childhood center, he would be ready for kindergarten.
If you can't find someone to watch your kid, then it's going to be hard.
It was just really hard.
My daughter also has Down syndrome, so there's additional challenges on top of what other parents normally have, setting up all of her extra appointments.
I always felt like they were sort of judging me, or that they thought, can I trust her? Is she really being honest? Like, is she just trying to get an extension on this assignment? Or there's so many absences, like I can only excuse so much. I don't know if this is legitimate.
I feel like we never felt supported by the university as a whole. it was really hard to find resources, to find financial support, to find tutoring or that work for my schedule and like my partner's schedule.
I've always had the fear that something was going to derail me here at school, and that I didn't really have anybody to turn to specifically.
There are some small programs that CSU has for student parents, but it's not advertised and not well known. You have to go looking for it, and some of us don't find it until it's too late.
I know there's student resolution services, but as I understood, that's mostly when you already have a disagreement with a professor, and at that point, I feel like the damage can already be done. Whereas if we just have, some of us adult students just are in a system where we already know that we can forward some sort of letter or something like that to the faculty and say, hey, can you please help us make accommodations and think about what you think in your curriculum may be difficult for us because of these externalities.
It's also very discouraging when you have to come back the next semester and start from scratch, when you are already more than halfway through. So I don't think some students come back from that as adult learners. I really don't.
The biggest thing that the administration could do is find a way to track student parents and get to know them and listen to them and listen to their needs.
I think it'd be great if we could try to accommodate for scheduling exams sort of with like the SDC, or it'd be great if maybe teachers could be more understanding of the absences if it is related to being a parent.
If I have to miss class because of my child, I don't want to miss points for it. I just don't think that it's fair.
There should be some sort of allowance of extending our semester a little bit, maybe past finals week, or starting at the point where you stopped in the next semester and just finishing that half of the class versus having to pay for an entire course again when you really just had no control over it.
There shouldn't be any homework assignment that's either completed in Word or Excel or on paper that can't be turned in digitally.
That would be helpful in requiring professors to make sure that the syllabus is translated into Canvas, so that because of my accessibility to a computer or to have the time to go to a computer and look up my stuff is easy accessible, like either on my phone, because a lot of times I use my phone to connect to RamWeb or Canvas, and that's how I looked, okay, what do I have to do today?
If they can just extend us the courtesy of saying, hey, I'll send you the full notes, and maybe type up a short email of what I kind of alluded to in class of what the more important parts of the lecture were, would be great.
They have systems already set up for students with disabilities through RDS, which it's set up and professors are aware of those situations, and so can do things like change testing dates, extend homework, and forgive absences and things like that.
It'd be awesome to include, student parents in that initiative of diversity and provide resources.
They just have to recognize that there are more than one community that has specific needs.
There's an opportunity, a great opportunity to do something great for this population.